Have you ever had that feeling like there's a secret co-pilot inside your head making decisions before you even get a chance to think? Well, turns out you're not wrong. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden machinery and explore the two systems that are pretty much running your brain, all based on the incredible work of Daniel Kahneman. Okay, so let's just dive right in by putting that brain of yours to the test. I've got a question for you, and I want you to go with the very first answer that pops into your head. Seriously, don't overthink it. You ready? Okay, here it is. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So how much does the ball cost? Just go with your gut. So, did you think 10 cents? If you did, don't worry, you are in very good company. In fact, that's the answer that just leaps into most people's minds. It feels right, doesn't it? It feels super intuitive, but it's also wrong. And the reason why it's wrong is just fascinating. The right answer is actually 5 cents. Kind of weird, right? But think about it. If the ball is 5 cents and the bat costs $1 more, that's $1.05. They add up to our total of $1.10. So what in the world just happened inside your head? Well, you just witnessed a little tug of war right inside your own mind. Okay, so now that we've seen our brains do their thing, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll meet the two characters running your brain. Then we'll see what they're each good at, learn how they can sometimes trick you, and finally, figure out how to think just a little bit smarter. So let's meet the stars of the show. Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman says our thinking isn't run by just one mind, but by two really different characters he calls System 1 and System 2. Think of it like this. System 1 is the impulsive hero. It's lightning fast, totally automatic, and it runs on pure gut feeling. Then there's System 2, who we'll call the lazy detective. He's slow, requires real effort, and he's the one who handles the hard logic. Now, the hero is always on duty, while the detective, well, he'd much rather stay on the couch, if we're being honest. Now, it's really important to get this. These two systems aren't enemies. They're designed to be partners, and each one has a very specific job to do. You could say one handles the mental sprints, while the other is built for the marathons. System 1 is basically your brain's autopilot. This is the part of you that solves 2 plus 2 without you even trying. The part that finishes the phrase peanut butter and jelly. It lets you drive a car on an empty road or get a sudden gut feeling about someone. It handles thousands of little things a day without any effort, so you don't have to consciously think about everything. But System 2, our detective, he only gets called in for the really tough cases. You know, trying to figure out 17 times 24? Yeah, that's a System 2 job. Carefully parallel parking in a super tight space? All System 2. The thing is, this kind of work is tiring. It takes real mental energy. And that's exactly why our detective is lazy. It tries to hand off tasks to the quicker, easier System 1 whenever it possibly can. So here's where things get interesting. The real trouble starts when our impulsive hero, System 1, takes a mental shortcut and jumps to a conclusion. And our lazy detective, System 2, just doesn't bother to double-check the work. This is where so many of our mental mistakes, or cognitive biases, come from. Let's look at a classic example, the anchoring effect. This is a crazy powerful bias where the very first piece of information you see, the anchor, heavily influences all your later judgments, even if that first piece of information is totally random. Let's try it out right now. I want you to, just in a few seconds, estimate the answer to this problem. Don't calculate it, just guess. What does your gut tell you the answer is? You got a number in your head? Okay, hold that number. Now, what about this one? It's the exact same problem, just flipped in reverse. Again, just give me a quick, intuitive estimate. Does your gut feeling give you a different answer this time? Maybe a higher one? And here's the thing, this perfectly shows the bias in action. When researchers did this experiment, the group that started with the small numbers guessed an average of about 512. But the group that started with the big numbers, their average guess was over 2,250. That very first number acted as an anchor and dragged their estimate along with it. And the actual answer? Get this, it's over 40,000. For almost everyone, both anchored guesses are way off. This is a perfect demonstration of how powerfully and invisibly our fast, intuitive System 1 can lead our thinking astray, and we don't even realize it's happening. So what's the point of all this? The goal isn't to say System 1 is bad. We'd be lost without it. The real superpower is knowing when your gut feeling might be biased, and knowing when it's time to wake up that lazy detective, System 2, and say, hey, maybe you should take a closer look at this case. So how can you actually do that? Well, it can be as simple as a 4-step check. First, just recognize the situation. Is this a high-stakes decision? Are you negotiating a price? That's a classic trap. Second, pause. Don't just jump on that first impulse like the 10 cents from our first puzzle. This gives System 2 a moment to wake up. Third, question that first instinct. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing here? Or, if I saw a different first number, would my answer change? And finally, step 4, decide. Now you can make a much more conscious and deliberate choice.
It all comes back to this incredible quote from Daniel Kahneman himself. The confidence people have in their beliefs is not a measure of the quality of evidence, but of the coherence of the story the mind has managed to construct. Our brains are amazing storytellers. So the question to leave you with is this: how coherent is the story your mind is telling you? And more importantly, is it time to wake up the detective?